Good morning, people. What's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McCullough, and it is official. Manchester United have sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. A statement was released in the last 10-15 minutes after we heard the news breaking through late last night that Manchester United had already decided to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We are now hearing that Manchester United have sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What am I talking about? It is official. They have released a statement this morning saying they have sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Where next for Manchester United? Who knows? But one thing is for sure is that this was the right decision. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's position in the last couple of weeks, the last month or so, has become untenable. And when you see a performance like that we saw at Vicarage Road, Watford 4, Manchester United 1. When you see a performance and a defeat like that, the writing's on the wall. I felt the writing has been on the wall for a while. I said it a couple of weeks ago. It felt like we were sleepwalking towards Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being sacked. I said it after the Everton game. In my gut, it just felt like this was over. It felt like it was over. And now we have got that official club statement to say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been sacked by Manchester United and will no longer be our manager. The statement reads, Manchester United announces that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has left his role as manager. Ole will always be a legend at Manchester United, and it is with regret that we have reached this difficult decision. While the past few weeks have been disappointing, they should not obscure all the work he has done over the past 3 years to rebuild the foundations for long-term success. Ole leaves with our sincerest thanks for his tireless efforts as manager and our very best wishes for the future. His place in the club's history will always be secure, not just for his story as a player, but as a great man and a manager who gave us many great moments. He will forever be welcomed back at Old Trafford as part of the Manchester United family. Michael Carrick will now take charge of the team for the forthcoming game, while the club looks to appoint an interim manager at the end of the season. So that is the statement from Manchester United, and my voice is not cracking because I'm about to cry or anything. As sad as this is, my voice is going. But that is the official statement from Manchester United. And what I find bizarre is, look, I know they have to keep an interim in position. I know that we have to keep someone there in order to see over things. We've got a game in 2 days' time against Villarreal, which is massively important. But what I don't get is keeping someone that's been part of the failed, you've just been sacked, so you say it's a failed regime. Part of the failed regime, why would you keep Michael Carrick in charge in that position? We hear it's going to be Fletcher and Carrick, or a combination of the two. A decent midfielding pairing for Man United at one point. But is it what we should be going forward with? Now, if it's just the one game, fair enough. But for me, those guys are part of the reason that we've failed here. So keeping those guys in position is a bizarre one to me. Now, I have read things in the past before that Kieran McKenna and Michael Carrick have different ideas and what they're implementing on the training pitch, and then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer picks the team and it's different to what they maybe would have thought that would happen. I've heard things like that, but I don't really buy into that at all. You're all part of the same regime. Now, look, I understand it's probably just for a week, 2 weeks, maybe not even that if we can get the appointment sooner. But I just find it a weird one to keep Carrick and that as the interim. To be totally honest with you, I do find that a little bit weird. But look, we expected this statement to come from Manchester United. I was speaking yesterday on the live stream when it was breaking through that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was about to be sacked, that Manchester United were in a position where we had to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There was no way that we could have held on. Maybe 2 weeks ago was the right time to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I felt if there was a viable option beyond Antonio Conte, Manchester United probably already would have replaced Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If Zinedine Zidane wanted the job 2-3 weeks ago, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer probably would have been sacked then. The Liverpool defeat 5-0 at Old Trafford was a sackable offence. The Manchester City performance, you look at, Everton, Aston Villa at home. You look at some of the performances in the Champions League. You look at the performances just haven't been good enough. And they culminated in that Watford game where you think, normally, that's a game United used to get back on their feet. We batter Watford. Maybe we go in and we draw or lose against Chelsea. But we're constant up and down, up and down. But that just showed it's over. It's absolutely over, bar the shouting. Christopher says, your mate Gary Neville is suddenly quiet. Look, I think it's a little bit unfair. Look, I like pointing out when Gary Neville gets things wrong. And I like having a little debate with him. But I think it's he's ultimately just a Manchester United fan. Do you know what? It's ultimately just a Man United fan. And that's like me. If you get something wrong going, I bet you're going to be quiet now. It's like, you're just a Man United fan. You're going to get things right. You're going to get things wrong. That's all Gary Neville is. Now, I hope he would be a little bit more fair at times. And I hope, he'd get things probably a little bit more right sometimes. But I think it's a little bit unfair to kind of like point out another Manchester United fan as if like to go, oh, well, this guy, he's just a United fan. He's just a United fan. As much as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserved to be sacked, I'm not having no rewriting of history of what he achieved as a footballer. The guy is and always will be a Manchester United legend. I found it weird that it was literally the second sentence of the statement that they said that, because it's almost like you're sympathising with a guy as he's been sacked. But it is true. He is always going to be a legend at Old Trafford, and this hasn't worked out in the end. And I do think he's done some good things along the way. This hasn't worked out in the end. We expect Manchester United managers to win trophies, but he has done some good along the way. And ultimately, I think he's left us in a better position for the next manager. Who that next manager is going to be, I do not know. But yeah, I think it was in danger of dragging on a little bit too long. He was in danger of maybe undoing some of that good work, but he has done some good work for Manchester United. It's over though, and it's right to be over because some of the performances we've seen in the last couple of weeks just haven't been anywhere near good enough. And now where do we go? You're hearing talks about Zinedine Zidane. You're hearing talks about Brendan Rodgers. You're hearing talks about all these different people. Ralph Rangnick would be a great stopgap. But is he going to get the power and the control that he wants? Are people going to be able to work with the likes of the Glazers and Ed Woodward and all those kind of guys? People talk about bringing Ten Hag into the team. Could he survive working with those people? I'm not too sure. Laurent Blanc is another consideration. Isn't he a little bit racist? What was going on there? I remember something going on. Anytime I hear his name come up, I think, is this supposed to be happening? Gus Hiddink, people are saying, I heard someone yesterday on the radio talking about, this is when I knew I needed to turn off the radio, when someone was talking about Big Sam Allardyce, like chill out. The Francie Brady says, I genuinely feel this is the worst I've felt as a United fan. I have no respect for the players and have no idea why Carrick is staying on as caretaker. People that say, thank you for your comment by the way, Francie. People that say the players have thrown the manager under the bus. I do feel that's a little bit unfair. I never accepted that for Mourinho. I wouldn't accept that for any manager, being thrown under the bus by players. I think the cases where players get together and agree that they're going to throw a manager under the bus or they're going to not perform so someone gets sacked is very rare. And I also think Ollie had the support of some of the players, if not all of the players, at times. I just think they eventually lost faith in his abilities as a coach, in some of his decision making. When you're making some of the decisions that we saw being made, and I mentioned it before, McFred is going to be the end of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Man United manager. He kept just playing them. He kept playing them, and you're thinking, you're giving these guys countless opportunities. You best be, when you lose your job, it's going to be down to them guys. Carl says player power again. How is it player power again? Like, people say, these guys got Mourinho sacked. Look at the squads. They're completely different squads. All right, we had David De Gea. Wan-Bissaka got Mourinho sacked, did he? Maguire got Mourinho sacked, did he? Luke Shaw got Mourinho sacked. Mourinho didn't even play Luke Shaw. McTominay was one of Mourinho's teacher's pets. You look further afield, Rashford, he never got Ole sacked. Greenwood never got Ole sacked. Ronaldo, Bruno, these guys got Ole sacked. I just find it's really easy to say these guys got the manager sacked. No, the manager's decision making ultimately led to him losing the dressing room. Whether they, subconsciously, consciously, whatever. If you're sitting on the bench and McTominay is playing crap every week and playing, Fred's playing crap every week and playing still, and you've got Maguire stinking the joint out and he's your captain, you're going to be like, why isn't anyone being held accountable? Why are these guys playing every week and I can't get a sniff? That's going to cause issues in the team. And I think that was one of the very good things about Ole's reign as United manager, was he kind of kept everyone in ship shape. He kept everyone in order. But, you've got to continue to do that. And he hasn't. Who would be available now that wasn't before the international break, says Dennis. Good point as well. Keane should be interim. I'm not sure about that. Rennie Moulenstein, I'm not sure he's a manager. Is a great coach. He's not a great manager. Give it Nicky Butt to the end of the season, says someone. Cantona. I'd like that foolishness. Some players have to be worried for their spots as well. Other players that we haven't spoke about today. So yeah, man, it's the news that was expected. Solskjaer to be sacked as Manchester United manager. It was the news that was to be expected. Still hurts when it arrives. It's the right decision, but got it. Where next is an interesting one, because I haven't got any faith in this board being able to get the decision right. I haven't got any faith in these guys getting the decision right at all. So where next? You look at Zinedine Zidane, and what he did at Real Madrid was fantastic. Seemingly he doesn't want the job. Or if he does, he's going to need some convincing. Are the board going to convince him? You look around elsewhere. Brendan Rodgers, no thank you. Ten Hag doesn't look like he's gonna leave Ajax in the middle of a season. So it's just, you're looking around for options. Poch, it's believed he'd jump at a chance for a job. He's in a job, so you're not gonna get him. You really looking around thinking, who the hell's available? And again, that's why I think Ole didn't lose his job any earlier. Alessio says, hope we can get a proper interim before the next game. Really don't want Carrick to actually manage a game for many reasons. Yeah, he's part of the failure. I don't think that should be rewarded. Not that it's a reward, but nevertheless. Anyway. Guys, a lot of people at the start thought, is Ole the man? Can he do it? And those doubts were proven correct. But it would have been so good if he fucking did do it. Oh, man. I don't think they threw him under the bus, but they let the club, Ole, and themselves down. I'm so annoyed right now. Says Francie, thank you very much for getting involved with a super chat. Keep your super chats coming in. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing on the day when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was officially sacked by Manchester United. The statement reads, Manchester United announces that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has left his role as manager. He will always be a legend at United, and it is with regret that we have reached this difficult decision. While the past few weeks have been disappointing, they should not obscure all the work he has done over the past 3 years to rebuild the foundations for long-term success. Ole leaves with our sincerest thanks for his tireless efforts as manager and our very best wishes for the future. His place in this club's history will always be secure, not just for his story as a player, but as a great man and a manager who gave us many great moments. He will forever be welcome back at Old Trafford as part of the Man United family. Michael Carrick will now take charge of the team for the forthcoming game, while the club looks to appoint an interim manager until the end of the season. So the club have come out in their dialogue and said they're looking to appoint an interim manager until the end of the season. So who's going to be on interim? You wouldn't expect Zidane to take an interim one at all. Abhinav says, if Brucey becomes interim, what are the odds on him asking how's the bacon? As much as I want to have fun and laugh right now, I can't do it yet. John Snow says, love you, Ollie, but time was up. And I think that is probably the perfect way to sum it up, isn't it? You love the guy. You wanted the guy to be a success. Maybe was a few doubts at the start. Yes, he did improve things, but ultimately it's the right decision. And one day he'll be back at Old Trafford and we'll all be singing his name. But that day, unfortunately, isn't today, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is sacked by Manchester United. Now, we will have loads more coming up for you throughout the day. So make sure you're keeping it locked on Stretford Paddock. As I understand it right now, the boys are all getting ready to head into the office, into the studio, and, of course, do some more stuff for you guys. So make sure you're keeping it locked. They'll be live again soon. If you want to go check out more, head over to youtube.com/Adam McCullough. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. But today, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been sacked by Manchester United. We'll go through some of your comments, some of your thoughts. Adam says, let's not forget the good work Ole did, lads. And that's Adam Garney, not me. Some people keep saying Rooney's name. I'm not sure about that one. Damien says, when are you next in the studio? Supposed to be in tomorrow. But there's also something else that me and Joe were invited to that we're going to weigh up whether we're going to that or not. Jemba to the end of the season. Carrick is a strange one. He's part of the failure, says Brian. Totally agree with that statement. Potentially Rooney given the situation at Derby, says Stivo. I can't see it being Rooney, to be totally honest with you. I just can't see that happening. Anyway, guys, whoever it is, we'll find out here on Stretford Paddock. So make sure you're keeping it locked, subscribe, hit the notifications, all that good stuff. Until next time, I have been Adam McCullough, and the news has broken. It is official. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been sacked by Manchester United, and United are now looking for an interim manager. Who's next? Who knows? Got no hope these clowns will get that decision right, though. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being sacked, I think that's the right decision. I think it was a decision that was coming, even if it does hurt a little bit. Guys, until next time, I've been Adam McCullough. I'm out of here.